My name's Cal Monroe. I'm 41, work in maintenance at a private high school just north of Baltimore. I fix things for a living. Doors, radiators, fences. But I couldn't fix her. Her name's Ava. My wife was, I guess. We were married 12 years. She taught 4th grade, painted her nails the color of pomegranate wine, and kissed me goodbye every morning at 6:47 like clockwork. She always wore red lipstick to work. Said it made her feel awake. Turns out it made someone else feel something too. The truth came slow. First, the little silences. A longer shower. Phone flipped screen down. Laughs at text messages she wouldn't explain. One night she said she was going to a reading night at the school. I offered to drive her. She said it's just for staff. I knew then, but I didn't say anything. I started checking the odometer on her car. She always parked in the same school lot. It was 7.8 miles away. But some nights when she got back, she'd clock 9.1, 11.3, once even 14.7. So I followed her. Not with headlights. With information. I took an unused laptop from the school tech bin and installed a tracking app on her phone while she was in the shower. A week later, I had enough. I wasn't angry. I was studying her. Where she went. How long she stayed. Who she was with. His name's Greg Matheson. Teaches gym. Divorced. Drives a Ford F-150 with a busted back taillight. He was the one Ava said had boundary issues with some of the younger teachers. Apparently, boundaries weren't a problem for her. They met up in the parking lot of a closed-down diner outside of Elkridge. Every Tuesday. Every Friday. Same spot. Like a routine. I watched from the hill behind the place. Took photos. Videos. Never close enough for them to see. But always close enough to see her smile. The same smile she gave me the night before when I cooked her chicken piccata and told her I loved her. I didn't confront her. I didn't storm out or throw things. Because real revenge isn't about yelling. It's about precision. The first thing I did was open a new Instagram account. Anonymous. No name. No photo. I followed 5 accounts. Each one belonged to a wife of a male teacher at Ava's school. The 6th? Greg's ex-wife. She still followed him. Still posted about co-parenting wins and grateful for growth. I sent one photo to her. Just one. Ava's red lipstick on Greg's neck. She blocked the account within 5 minutes. But not before she saw it. And the next morning? Greg's truck was gone from the staff lot by noon. Ava came home that night quiet. Her hair still smelled like school soap. She curled into me on the couch like nothing had changed. I kissed her forehead and whispered, "How was reading night?" She said, "Ugh." Loud, but fine. And that's when I smiled. Because this wasn't about catching her anymore. It was about undressing the lies one layer at a time. And making her do the rest herself. Next up? Her reputation. Not through drama. Through silence. And one very specific parent-teacher conference. Ava always cared about appearances. She once spent 3 hours prepping our house before my parents visited, even wiped the baseboards with lemon oil just in case they noticed. When she started teaching, it was the same story. She wanted to be known as the warm one, the kind of teacher who sent handwritten notes home and laminated every worksheet like it was art. She called her students my babies. And the parents adored her for it. So when I decided to break her, I didn't need to shout from rooftops. I just had to crack her halo. Every semester, the school holds parent-teacher check-ins, 5-minute sit-downs, quick and polite. Ava always bragged she had the highest attendance rate. They trust me, she said once, because they see how much I care. So I sent a message to 3 parents using burner emails. All of them had kids in her class. Subject, just a concern from another parent. Not sure if you've seen this, but there are rumors about Ms. Monroe and another teacher. My kid asked about Coach Greg coming into class during reading time and it made me uncomfortable. Just thought someone should be aware. No names. No accusations. Just doubt. The kind that makes someone squint at a smile a little longer. The kind that gets whispered over folded hands. At the next round of conferences, I volunteered to help set up. Ava didn't question it. Said she was glad to have support. I arrived an hour early and left something small under her desk, a red lipstick tube. The same brand she used. But I bought it myself. Unopened. Untouched. Placed just far enough under the desk that only someone kneeling to plug in the projector or grab a dropped pen might find it. And someone did. A father, mid-40s, quiet type. He picked it up, looked at her. She laughed too hard and said, "Oh. Wow, that's not even mine, I swear." His smile didn't reach his eyes. And I stood just outside the door, watching her reputation sprain like an ankle in heels. The real fracture came from the mother of a little girl named Ava had always doted on Jessica, the precocious chatterbox who once gave my wife a beaded bracelet and said, "You're my second mommy." That mother, Carla Gresham, came in last. I watched through the crack in the door. Her eyes were cold. Her arms folded. "I'm just going to ask this straight," Carla said. "Is it true you've been involved with Coach Greg? During school hours?" Ava stuttered. "Excuse me. Because my daughter mentioned he was in your class during silent reading. And there's been talk." Ava flushed. "I don't know what your daughter heard, but that's a yes or no question." Silence. I saw Ava's jaw tighten like it always did when she couldn't lie fast enough. "Then, no. I mean, he came in once, but only to drop off equipment." Carla didn't nod. Didn't speak. Just stood up. "Jessica won't be in your class next semester. We're requesting a transfer." Ava's face broke just slightly. Carla walked out. Didn't even glance at me. And Ava sat frozen, fingers twitching on the edge of the table. Like she'd just seen her career start to rot from the inside. That night, she didn't speak much. She poured wine, scrolled her phone, locked the bathroom door. When she finally sat beside me, she whispered, "Do you think someone's spreading things about me?" I shrugged. "Maybe." She looked at me for a long time. I knew that look. She was trying to figure out if I knew. If I had known. If I'd been playing her. But see, when a liar starts to suspect they've been outplayed, their panic turns inward. She wasn't sure whether to confess or pretend harder. And that doubt was worth more than any confrontation. The next morning, she didn't wear the red lipstick. She left it in the drawer. Went with pale pink instead. As if color could erase what people already started whispering. She didn't know yet. Red was no longer a choice. It was a mark. And I was far from done painting the rest of the picture. Ava's always had a small but loyal crew, 3 women she called her frontline girls. Kindergarten teachers, mostly. The kind who drank rose at brunch and shared Pinterest boards called Chaos Queens like they were war medals. They had a group chat titled The Red Pen Mafia. Ava loved telling me about it, especially when they gossiped about other staff. "They'd all kill for me," she said once. "Ride or die." I didn't need to kill them. I just needed them to doubt her. Her closest was Marcy Thorne, a single mom with an Instagram full of staged coffee mugs and inspirational quotes. Ava once helped her move apartments after a breakup. Called her family. Perfect target. I made a fake Facebook profile. Used a stock photo of a yoga instructor from Denver. Added some harmless posts about wine, anxiety, and finding peace in chaos. Friend requests to local teachers, slow and subtle. Within 2 days, Marcy accepted. Then I slid into her messages. "Hey, I feel weird asking this, but is Ava okay?" She told my cousin she was having problems with Greg from the gym staff. Said he was threatening to tell someone something. I waited 6 minutes. Marcy replied. "What?" Ava didn't say anything about that. "What is it?" "Just something about parents asking questions." Said she might get fired if it gets out. Then I blocked her. That night, Ava was quieter than usual. Scrolled her phone with a clenched jaw. Then, weirdest thing, Marcy texted me asking if I was okay. Said someone messaged her about Greg. Said I was scared of being fired. I looked up from the sink. "Are you?" "What?" "No. Of course not. But someone's messing with me." "Who would?" She didn't answer. Because when you lie long enough, even you forget who might know what. 2 days later, Ava hosted a girls' night at our house. Wine. Music. Giant cheese board that smelled like guilt and goat milk. I stayed upstairs, headphones on. But I didn't miss a single word. Because I'd hidden a phone, screen locked, recording app running beneath the hallway bench where they tossed their purses. And the moment Ava stepped into the kitchen to grab more crackers, the murmurs started. "She's been off lately, right? I love Ava, but the Greg stuff. I don't know. Marcy told me she thinks someone's watching her. Maybe that's why she's trying so hard with the parents now. And finally, if she gets caught, we all look complicit." The next morning, I left a printed transcript of that recording in her car. Just the quotes. No source. No name. Titled, "What They Say When You Leave the Room." She didn't mention it, but she started sleeping with her back to me. By week's end, she deleted her Facebook. Made her Instagram private. She told me someone was targeting her. I asked, "Do you think it's a parent?" She said, "I don't know. Maybe Greg's ex. Maybe someone who's jealous." I nodded. Could be someone who's hurt. She paused. Looked at me. Too long. But again didn't ask. Because the worst kind of guilt is the kind you're too scared to name. That Sunday, I watched her at church. She wore beige. No lipstick. No makeup at all. Her smile didn't quite touch her eyes anymore. She hugged people like she was waiting to be slapped. The whispers had begun, so soft you couldn't hear the words, only feel them. Like heat behind a closed door. And she looked small. Not like the woman I married. Not like the woman who'd leaned into a man's truck in a closed-down diner lot and laughed like I didn't exist. This was someone else now.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing experience, but we really need your support, namely a subscription to the channel, which can make it possible to hire a professional voice actor and make the best content for you.
Someone clinging to a version of herself that no one believed in anymore. Not even her. She came to me that night and asked the question I'd been waiting on for weeks. Do you think I've done something to deserve this? I didn't answer. Just looked her in the eye and said, Do you? She didn't reply. She just walked to the bedroom and shut the door. Slow. Soft. Like she was afraid of waking the ghost of the person she used to be. When a liar gets desperate, they stop lying to others. They start lying to themselves. Ava had crossed that threshold. I could see it in the way she carried herself, like she was performing sadness for an invisible jury. Her eyes constantly searching faces, her tone too soft, her words filtered for effect. She no longer cared what was true. She just wanted to control the version of it that survived. It started with pity. She posted a black square on Instagram. Caption: Sometimes people destroy what they don't understand. I'm doing my best. No names. No details. Just enough to get the comments flowing. You've got this, 2 hearts. Keep your head up. Don't let haters win. She deleted it within 24 hours. But not before it got screenshotted. And passed around. And reached the inbox of Ms. Holloway, the vice principal at her school. 2 days later, Ava came home early from work. Eyes red. Not from crying, from being exposed. They're putting me on leave, she said, setting her bag down too carefully. Why? Because of conduct concerns. Apparently some parents wrote in anonymously. Said I was being unprofessional. That I made them uncomfortable. I didn't ask who. I already knew. Because it wasn't the emails that did it. It was the doubt. The question that floated in the air like a gas leak. What kind of teacher gets visits from the gym coach during story time? That night, she got drunk. The ugly kind. Glass after glass of white wine, pacing the kitchen barefoot, playing angry music from her phone like the lyrics might exorcise whatever truth clung to her skin. Then she turned on me. You're so calm all the time, she slurred. Like you've got some smug little secret. I didn't say anything. She pointed at me. If you knew something, you'd tell me, right? I mean, we're married. I sipped my water. Still married. She paused. The room froze around us. And for the first time in a long time, I saw genuine fear in her. Not fear of being caught. Fear of being abandoned. She backpedaled. Started texting my friends. She messaged Josh, my fishing buddy of 15 years, and said, Hey, I feel like Cal's been pulling away lately. I think someone's feeding him lies about me. Can we talk? Josh forwarded it to me. Didn't respond to her. Just sent, This is getting sad, man. You need anything, I'm around. She tried again, this time with Angie, my boss's wife. I think Cal's hurting, but he won't talk. He's convinced I did something, but it's not true. I just need support. Angie texted me. You okay? She's spiraling. I told her I was good. But I wasn't done yet. That Sunday, I found the old memory card. The one I'd taken out of Ava's phone back when she forgot to password protect it. I hadn't needed it yet. But now? It was the perfect time. Inside it was a voice memo. Not dramatic. Not graphic. Just honest in the worst way. Ava whispering into her phone like she was venting to a diary. Sometimes I look at Cal and wonder if he even sees me anymore. Greg does. He makes me feel needed. I know it's wrong. But when I'm with Greg, I feel 25 again. I feel alive. That was the version of herself she'd never meant anyone else to hear. So I printed it. Word for word. No context. No signature. Just left it taped to the bathroom mirror before heading to work. When I got back, it was gone. No trace. So was she. Her keys still on the counter. Her phone left behind. Just a single note in handwriting that looked steadier than she felt. I thought you'd fight for me. I folded it. Tossed it in the trash. Because you don't fight for someone who only wants to win you back out of fear. You let them leave the ring on their own, gloves dragging, mouthguard cracked. And you never raise your voice. Only your standard. That night, I slept with the window open. No silence. No secrets. Just wind. And finally, peace. 2 weeks passed. Ava didn't come home. Not once. Her toothbrush sat dry. Her side of the closet untouched. Emmy, our dog, started sleeping in the empty space she left as if she sensed no one was coming back. And honestly, I wasn't sure Ava wanted to. Not because she was done. Because she was recalculating. You could feel it, the silence between moves. The kind of stillness a chess player takes before sacrificing a knight to trap the king. I didn't hear from her directly. But I did hear from a woman named Kate Ramsey who ran the Baltimore Teacher Network, a blog where educators shared anonymous essays, frustrations, victories. Kate sent me a message. Hi Cal. I thought you should see this before it goes live. It came from a burner email, but we're 90% sure it's from Ava. Attached was a draft blog post titled, When the Person You Love Turns Cold. It began like this. I was a good wife. A faithful wife until I wasn't. But what they don't tell you is that sometimes betrayal is a two-way street. Sometimes love starves you slowly, quietly. And by the time you cheat, you're just trying to breathe. It was 4 paragraphs of soft blame, vague emotional abuse, and teary reflection. A few were even lifted straight from those influencer captions she used to screenshot. And it ended with, he won't read this. But maybe someone out there will see me and understand I wasn't evil, just exhausted. I asked Kate not to publish it. She agreed. But I didn't ask because it would hurt me. I asked because I already had a better stage. A bigger spotlight. And her own words were going to be the rope she'd tie. You see, Ava had always loved recording herself reading stories aloud for her students, she said. She kept them saved in a Google Drive. But what she didn't know, the drive had one public folder, titled Private, Don't Share Without Permission. She must have hit the wrong setting months ago. And inside that folder, there were more than stories. There were voice notes, journals, a few mini confessionals she'd recorded late at night. One of them, a 3-minute rant where she talked about Greg in detail. God, if anyone knew how often we did it in the school parking lot. If Cal ever finds out, I'm screwed. But whatever. He's not going anywhere. He needs me. Another? About her friends. Marcy acts like she's my ride or die, but she's so jealous of me. I give her crumbs of my life and she treats them like gold. I could say I robbed a bank and she'd ask if I wore a cute outfit. She wasn't talking to anyone in particular. She just liked the sound of her own voice when she felt powerful. So I made a highlight reel. Not for revenge porn, not for spectacle, just the truth. 3 audio clips. Under 2 minutes. No editing, no names. Just her own voice, played over an image of her old Instagram bio. Teacher. Wife. Storyteller. Good trouble only. I posted it anonymously in a local forum for educators along with a caption. When the storyteller starts believing her own fiction. It spread fast. Not viral, but fast enough. By Monday, 3 of her former co-workers had left her support group on Facebook. By Tuesday, she deleted her public email. By Friday, she called me. First time in 17 days. Was it you? She asked. Her voice was brittle. Thin like an old thread. I said nothing. You're trying to erase me. No, I finally said. I'm just letting people see the version of you that only I knew. She was quiet. Then she said the most honest thing I'd heard in months. You're better at this than I thought. Click. I never called back. Didn't have to. Because Ava had already burned every bridge. I just handed her the matchbook. And watched. The school never formally fired her. But she didn't return. No one would make eye contact. No one would take her side. And in a town like ours, silence is louder than protest. She moved out of state by the end of the month. No goodbye. No apology. Just a legal address on the divorce paperwork forwarded by her attorney. The new city? Denver. The same one from the yoga instructor profile I used to contact her best friend. Call it irony. Call it justice. Either way, she's gone. And she'll never outrun the sound of her own voice. 3 months after she left, I received a plain manila envelope in the mail. No return address. Inside were 2 things. A Polaroid of Ava taken recently, I could tell. She stood in front of a Pilates studio in Denver, hair pulled back, no makeup, wearing a volunteer t-shirt that said Fresh Start. A folded sheet of lined notebook paper. Her handwriting hadn't changed. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I've started over. It's lonelier than I expected. But quieter. Sometimes I think that's what I really needed. I hope you're okay. No signature. Just the past mailed like a half-buried apology. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. Because the version of me who would have written back, who once believed her smile meant truth, died the day she let someone else hold her face the way I used to. In the time since, I've learned a few things. Some quiet. Some loud. Here's one. When someone betrays you, they expect 2 outcomes. Rage or begging. If you give them silence, you become unsolvable. And to a manipulator, that's the cruelest thing you can be. I got the house in the divorce. She didn't contest it. I think she couldn't bear to walk through it again. Too many shadows. Too many cracks in the drywall that looked like guilt. I painted the walls. Donated her leftover clothes. Emmy still sleeps by the front door sometimes. Like she's guarding something worth keeping now. And maybe she is. The neighbors eventually stopped asking. They'd peek through curtains for weeks, like my grief would walk the driveway with a shovel. But it never did. I went to work. Came home. Lived. Peacefully. And here's the other thing I've learned. Closure isn't a conversation. It's not a final text or a letter or one last slap of words across a voicemail. It's what you do when there's nothing left to answer. Closure is waking up and realizing you don't flinch when the past whispers anymore. Hearing a familiar name and feeling nothing. No heat. No weight. Just air. People sometimes ask if I'll date again. Maybe. But not to fix something. Not to feel needed or seen or validated. Not to outrun silence. Next time, if there is one, I'll want peace. Not lipstick. Not performative love. Just a woman who doesn't need an audience to feel whole. And Ava? Well, she exists now only as a story some people half remember. The once beloved teacher with the perfect handwriting and the flawless smile who vanished without a real goodbye. They say she left to start over. But some know. Some remember the rumors. The whispers. The anonymous posts. And even if they don't speak them out loud anymore. She'll always wonder. What they think. What they saw. What they know. That's her cage now. And I didn't build it. I just held up the mirror. So if you ask me what revenge feels like, I'll tell you this. It's not fire. It's not poison. It's not watching someone cry. It's the quiet joy of living well without needing to be seen doing it. It's sitting in your own home, drinking your own coffee, breathing air you didn't have to fight for anymore. It's peace. And that's something she'll never fake. Not again. Not with red lipstick. Not with anyone.
What do you think of the story? Write in the comments.